Hello and welcome. So as you can see, we're starting with an art haul. So the first thing I got were these mechanical pencil refills because I recently got some mechanical pencils and I wanted to be able to refill them. And also these daily colored pens, which I love the way the ink comes out. It's just the most satisfying thing ever. As you can see here, it just flows out of the pen, which I just enjoy using. And I recently went to the bookshop, the stationery shop, and got some art supplies because I didn't have watercolor paper, I didn't have colored pencils that were working properly, and I just needed to make some supplies for my art. And I didn't find a watercolor sketchbook, so instead I got a file and watercolor paper. So I will use the watercolor paper and put it in this file and make this file my sketchbook. Yeah, that's the best I could do right now, because I would have to get a watercolor sketchbook online and that would take forever for it to get here. So yeah, I need it now. And these are some deli colored pencils which I just loved. Personally, I have never used colored pencils that just work the way they're supposed to work. Like these ones were just melting onto the paper like butter, and I enjoyed using them. They were just amazing. So I'm thinking of getting a larger set because these ones only have 12 colors, and I realized that I need some darker browns and different shades, so I'll go check them out and see if they have them in any larger sets. But yeah, I loved using them. And finally, the watercolor paper. So this one has, I think, 40 sheets or 20 sheets, I think. Yeah, this one has 20 sheets of paper, and I will be folding each sheet and cutting it in half because my file is not that large. So that means I've got 40 and I got 2 of these. That means 80 sheets. So that's a lot of sheets. And I think it's gonna last me more than half of the year. So that's great. That's great. And finally, I also got these headsets. Loved the color. I don't know if this is turquoise. And I realized that these headsets were the same color as my mouse. When I got home, I didn't know that they were the same color, which is just crazy. Maybe I just secretly love this color, you know? Or just make it my aesthetic or something. I don't know. So now what I'm trying to do is just make some stickers for the cover of the sketchbook, because I don't want it to be just plain black. I wanted it to have some character, have some fun, and be colorful, so that each time I look at my sketchbook, it just brings me a warmth and it inspires me and makes me feel creative to, draw and paint and do everything. So I wasn't trying to make it perfect. I told myself not to overthink the whole, making it aesthetic and making it perfect. But instead I said, you know what, just do what feels right. Just paint or do whatever feels right. And down the road, if you want to change it, you can change it. So that's exactly what I did. So this is the first time that I'm actually like officially studying a sketchbook. When I was in uni, that was like 3 years ago. When I was in my first year, second year, I got a sketchbook which I left in China, and I have no idea where it is, but it's fine. I I I didn't really like officially like be like, oh, I'm taking art seriously. I just like bought it and just like started drawing in it. I didn't really have like any strategy or anything like that. So I didn't really take it like as an official sketchbook. And then when I got home, I got another sketchbook. This one was like really big. It's like an A3 sketchbook. And that's when I like started taking art seriously. But I started first with like exploring different types of art. I did like different types of illustrations. I started learning how to draw portraits and all that stuff. And that was like my first sketchbook that I like started and finished, and has like my whole like process from starting, when I was learning, to how my skills are now, which looking back has shown me that my skills have actually improved a lot, because my faces now look like faces. Before, they didn't look like faces. They just look like pancakes with eyes and a nose and lips, but now they look like faces. And it got me thinking. I was like, wow, you have really come a long way. Like, you have really, really put in the work. You've been consistent with art, and you've been consistent with learning. And not until I looked through my sketchbook, which just finished, did I realize that, wow, you're actually consistent. And I really, really love this. And it feels like no time has passed at all with doing art. And yeah, so I'll be doing a sketchbook tour next week, after next week. So look out for that video. I'll be showing you guys my other sketchbook that just recently finished. And now I wanted to like document the whole process of me starting a sketchbook by making it mine with decorations and sticking things in it, writing stuff in it. I didn't want it to be perfect. I wanted it to be like messy and just show the whole process, show my progress from now till whenever this sketchbook will be filled. I really want to document my process and document how I learn, and the sketchbook really shows you that. When you look back from the first drawing that you make in that sketchbook to the last drawing that you make, you realize that there is a huge difference. And even with like the slightest things, like the confidence and the way you put the colors on the paper, the way you draw certain shapes, the way you draw certain things, it shows you, like it manifests, and you can see it as you flip through those pages. So that's one reason that I really, really love sketchbooks. And in this one, I decided to start with like doodles of like food, because drawing food is something that just comforts me. Like, if I'm working on portraits, I'm a little bit stiff. I noticed that I'm a little bit stiff. I overthink the colors that I'm going to use. I overthink how the picture looks. I overthink if the proportions are right. But with food, it's like, even if it's a little bit off, it's fine. Like, it's fine. Like, no, like fruits aren't perfect circles, and they have bumps, and they have this, and it's the same thing with humans. But I heard from one of the YouTubers that I follow who does art, they said that we're more strict with portraits because we look at people's faces a lot. So the slightest difference or the slightest imperfection, we notice that. So with fruits, you're a little bit more flexible, and with foods and objects and other things, you're a little bit more flexible with that. So drawing them really helps me just like calm down, and even with painting them, I don't overthink it. I just go with the flow and just make whatever I can. And as you can see here with these cherries, I just like, went with it. Though I realized that I wasn't really patient when drawing these, so I didn't really layer the colors properly. I did another set of cherries, which I'll show you at the end, that I stuck on the cover again. So that one looked better than this one. The colors were much more vivid and they looked a lot better. Same with the slice of bread, the toast that I'm doing right now. I feel like the one I did in the beginning looked way better because I used a different brown on this one. So yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. I loved how the whole spread came together after I finished everything. So yeah. And then I went on with some colored pencils to try and make the colors more, saturated and whatnot, which is another mistake I made. Was I did not let the paper dry completely. So yeah, the colored pencils are soft, but it was making bumps and it was making the papers fold a little bit, which was not great. But hey, it's okay. It's part of the process. It's part of learning, and I learned that, yeah, let the paper dry. Let it dry. And with this watercolor sketchbook, I really want to challenge myself with exploring and mixing colors, because that's one thing that I'm a little bit terrified of, mixing colors. And also I want to learn how to achieve depth with the watercolors and just make things look more real, I guess, in a way. Not exactly realistic, but I want to be able to achieve that depth and improve on this. Like, this is an improvement on its own, because if you see the first watercolor paintings that I made, oh Lord Jesus, this is a huge improvement. But I really want to improve my color mixing, because I am a little bit skeptical when it comes to mixing colors. I don't experiment that much with it. So I think also because I didn't have a lot of watercolor paper, so I would restrict myself and be like, you don't want to waste paper, so just make sure that the colors that you're using are good colors. But now I'm like, I got like 80 shades, so I can experiment. I have the flexibility to experiment, and I will experiment, and I will try different things. Actually, at the end of this video, there is a portrait that I did a couple of days after doing this, which I loved how the colors came out. Like, I was like, is this me? I did a watercolor study in the morning, and I loved how it came out. So as you can see, I love how the ice cream came out, the ice chocolate cream lolly. I don't know. I love how it came out, but I wish I had a darker brown to like just make those shadows pop even more and create that huge contrast between the shadows and the highlights and the midtones. So that's why I want to get a even larger set of colored pencils. But I didn't really like the donut because I had lost the reference that I had got for the donuts, so I just went off of instinct when painting this one. But anyway, it was fine. It was okay. It wasn't perfect, but it was okay. And finally, I decided to another thing that I decided to work on was writing dates of the paintings that I do, so that I know when I did it, because I never did that before. And also I decided to start writing in my sketchbook, because leaving little messages for yourself is amazing. Like little notes, little messages. It could be like inspiring yourself. It could be like something that you should work on next time. Like I wrote, learn how to mix colors. That's something that I don't really do that much. And I also wrote to myself, stuff like you've come a long way, keep going, don't give up. And this quote that I found on LinkedIn, was it LinkedIn? No, not LinkedIn. Why did I think LinkedIn? On Pinterest, which said, "Trust the seeds that you plant." Oh my God, that is so powerful. Like, trust the seeds that you plant, trust the ideas that you have. It made me realize that I needed to trust myself and trust in my abilities and trust in the work that I'm doing right now for the future, and trust the process. Like, not to fixate on the future or on getting the best results, but instead trust in the process, trust in what I'm doing right now, because it's going to grow later on in the future and it's going to manifest into a huge flower. So trust the seeds that you plant. And another thing is that there are no mistakes, only lessons. So this one applies when I am drawing something or learning something. I always tell myself, if it doesn't come out the way I want it to come out, or if it looks weird, it's fine. I will learn from that experience, and I will look back and say, okay, don't do this next time, just do that. So it's fine to make mistakes. They're just lessons. And I hope that even as you are, drawing or learning to draw art or learning to do whatever it is that you're doing, you need to trust in what you're doing right now, that it will grow into something in the future. Like, you just have to be patient and trust the process, because it does take time to get where you want to be. Patience is the most important thing that you can teach yourself to do. Like, it's the most important thing. That was supposed to be a winking emoji, but then the ink wasn't dry, so it looks weird. Yeah. So patience is the most important thing that you can learn in anything that you do. You need to be patient. If you can master patience, you will be able to get through anything. Even when you're trying to lose weight, even when you're trying to learn a new skill, you're trying to study, you're trying to do anything, you have to be patient and trust the process. If you can do these things, trust me, you will achieve amazing things. So that's me trying to do hard sign. Finished it. It took me like 3 days to do. So this is the final sketchbook. As you can see, I found these little butterflies in the house somewhere on a table, and then I was like, oh, cute, I'm gonna put them in my sketchbook. And I put them on my sketchbook, and as you can see, these are the cherries that I did. I love how these came out more than those other ones, but it's fine. And that little chili pepper, also love how that one came out, and I decided to stick it on the cover. So yeah, that's my cover right there. I love it. It's not perfect, but it's got its own aesthetic, and I haven't done anything to the back yet, but we'll figure something out. No pressure. Still have all the time in the world to do it. And now for the inside. So, okay. Those doodles, I found them on Pinterest, and I decided to put them on the cover. And I love how they came out. I love how the colors came out. So for these ones, I just used colored pencil. And yeah, that is our page that I made with watercolors. Love it. Love how everything came together. Beautiful. And back to our doodles. So that's the other slice of bread that I made, toast, which I love how the colors came out, like the brown and the yolk. It's that orange yellow contrast. Looks really nice. We'll have the little pizza there, the lollipop. And the little camera, which I just love, like the camera just is the center of attention, and I love the colors, I love everything about it. And then we have other doodles. I'm thinking of adding some more, but we'll see, because there's a lot of white space, so we'll see if I will put some more things depending on how I feel on a certain day when I look at the cover. And finally, the portrait I was telling you about, this one here, I was like, oh my gosh, did I do that? Like, look at the highlights shining, look at the skin, look at the blush, just the eyes look like eyes. I haven't finished working on it. I was doing it in the morning before work, so I didn't really get a lot of time to finish it off, but I love how it came out. Even her face looks like a face. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. Pat on the back, pat on the back, pat on the back. So that is my sketchbook, and I cannot wait to make more art and just fill it up with things. As you can see, it's so inspiring, it's so fun, it's so chill, it's so laid back. It just makes you want to put stuff in it. So I hope that if you're getting a sketchbook, you can make it your own and enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video, which is a sketchbook tour. So stay tuned for that. Bye.